All right. Hello, guys. I'm just going to continue to work on this baby Yoda that I'm working on. If you have been missing a lot of this, I've got the base covered with foam. I want to do a little bit more shaping though today, but the he can look around, he can look up, he can blink his eyes, he can talk, and he can move his ears. So, today I'm going to be working more on shaping the foam though. So, let me get right back into it. Now, I keep going back and forth on this guy because I keep thinking, oh, that's enough. I've shaved it down. I've got a good shape. And then I keep looking at different references, and I know the references are all different, and I kind of want to do a little bit of my own, but I'm just having a little trouble settling on the look that I want. Because I've been looking at a bunch of different references here, and they all, like, the eyes in this one are humongous compared to the eyes in this one. I think I want to go big. This one's really cartoony, but I don't think I'm going to get that detailed in wrinkles. I want it to be a little bit more puppety. This is a 3D printed one, which has, I think it's got a really nice shape. I found all these on Google. I just typed in a 3D print baby Yoda. And my buddy, Uncle Jesse, hooked me up with a lot of images too. So, anyway, I'm gonna get right into it and just carving away a little bit more. Let me prop this thing up so I can see them better. It's hard to decide on exactly what I want to do. Ooh, look at that. I'm breaking through. Oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't do that on purpose, but if I re-glue that there, I kind of like that shape a lot. Look at that, a happy accident. You guys are in here. Not sure if the commenting is going to work this time. It didn't work last time. But just say hello if you are in there, just so I can see if it's going to work today or not. My guess is it's not going to work. Let me just check. Yeah. It's not showing me anything. That's okay though. Hey Google, turn on shop vent.
Sure, turning the shop vent on.
That actually looks really good, I think. Let's see. Oh, I can see the comments, so that's great. Oh, awesome. Hi, Frank. Hi, Keith. I don't know why it sometimes wants to show them and sometimes doesn't, but I can definitely see them today. So feel free to ask questions, and I'll glance up and, do what I can. of this edge off here. I think I have a good side view picture. It's pretty decent, I guess. Now let me see here about getting a little chin on there. You know, sometimes he seems to have a little bit of an underbite. Sometimes he seems to just have a kind of a straight mouth. Kind of like that, though. I'm gonna glue that down. Look at that. Now it's much easier to see. Much easier to see that mouth move before than it was before, rather. Oh! Oh god. I'm not gonna do the voice. Now, let me move that out a little bit further. Like that. Okay, so let me maybe get some cushion foam, some soft foam. Now I think I want to use that for the cheeks. Here. Making this up as I go along, so come along for the ride. See a comment from, well, that's very kind of you. That's Stijn. Stygian? I appreciate your comment there. Just doing what I do. So I'll trace that, but I won't cut it out yet because if it doesn't work, I don't want to waste the foam. But let me just glue these edges and see what happens. That actually, I think that works remarkably well. I couldn't be happier, because happy is what happens when all your dreams come true. Isn't it? Even though I only need one more of these, I'm going to trace it one more time, just in case of catastrophic failure, and I still have the pattern that I need. Wow, I am so lucky that this worked. Rather, it seems like it's working. Nice. Go ahead. Bye. Alrighty. Now, are there edges that are the same? Not really. Probably very slightly, but not enough to really make a difference in this case. Okay, so let me start gluing this down. Hope I have another can of this. I'm getting low. think I'm losing my mind. Oh, come on. That is not bad. Cheek might be a little bit on the big side, but you know what? I think it looks kind of cute. Might be able to shave it down a little bit too, but I am pretty darn happy with that. Oh, looks like I've been missing some comments here. Hold on, scrolling down. Yeah, it did kind of have an ET look for a while there. I was thinking that, I never said it out loud, but I've been thinking it for days. And it's actually been giving me a little bit of like mini anxiety for the last couple days while it's been sitting on my table. Because every day I come and look at it and say, oh my gosh, it looks like ET, it does not look like Yoda. So I was mentally stuck, so I had to get myself past that hump. And that's what I did today. So I am quite grateful for that, to have that behind me. guys hear me? It looks like I may have lost connection. Let that sit for 1 second. Oh no, that's not good. Should be fine though. It's not good. Oh my gosh. Whew. All right, now. Hello, guys. We're just working. Hey, Google, turn off. Shoot.
Sorry, power controls is not yet supported.
Hey, Google, turn off shop vent.
Okay, turning the shop vent off.
Okay. So I just glued something. So let me just stick this thing down before I show you what I have here. I made some cheeks for Baby Yoda here. And I'm quite happy with how it's coming out. So far, that is what we have here. Okay, that's getting caught a little bit there. Let me just bend this around here. Oh, look at those little cheeks. So now you can see the mouth movement much better too. The head still looks a little square up here, but I think once the ears are on, that's gonna change the shape a bit. So I'm not too worried about that. I go back and forth on if these cheeks are a little bit too big, but I'm liking... Hope this is working well still, this blank, because I just, right before I went live on this, everyone on Facebook just saw it. This whole thing just completely smashed down to the floor. So hopefully, and not ever since that smashed down, these eyes are being a little goofy now. But it seems okay. They're not quite springing back the way I wanted them to. Let me do a little surgical check inside here. Scalpel. Spring clear? Yeah, the spring looks good to me. That's what I thought was getting jammed up, maybe. So get that squeak out of there too. That's easy though. But yeah, it looks good. So I'm looking at my references here, and I think I just gotta shave that chin down just a little bit. But I think I'm close to just adding fabric. I was really getting nervous about those cheeks. But I think I might do a foam brow. I'm not positive yet. I'm looking at, my buddy sent me a whole bunch of 3D renderings of the Baby Yoda. And it's kind of a lot easier to look at a 3D print version or a 3D model rather than the actual character. Because it's hard to tell what's like details and shadows versus just seeing it all in one solid color. So this is a little different than my design here, but this one looks pretty cool. You can see that. It's a little blown out on Instagram, but I like it. I made a makeshift nose. This will not be the final nose, but I had this little nose here just so I could kind of get a feel for how it's coming together. Though it'll be attached afterward. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Can you guys see that? So actually that's probably a little high. Probably more like that, I think. Something, a little button nose like that. Wow. Okay. So there's still things I'm debating on though, because on top of his head he kind of has, you know, it almost looks like a six-pack of abs on top of his head sometimes, and I don't know if I want to get into that with this version since it is going to be kind of a cartoony version. I'm not positive and not sold on it yet, but I think I do want to do a little bit bigger of a brow. Again, he looks different in different versions, but this version here, he's got a really pronounced brow, and I kind of like that. So I think I'm gonna do that. Let me do that real quick, and I'll use the soft foam again. Actually, you know what? I'll use this guy here. get some scissors too. Looks like we lost you guys on Facebook. But that's alright. Well, we got you here on IG. Okay. That looks good. Let me just trim it down just a little bit here. Okay. Hey Google, turn on shop vent.
Okay, turning on the shop vent.
There we go. Once this is glued up, I'll let it set for a bit, and then I'll show you guys some more of what it's doing and what I'm thinking. Right. So again, if you're just coming here, this is where we are so far. You got those cheeks on. Really happy with how it's coming out. Do the other hand here. The thing I'm the happiest about, I think, is that I did put this tilt mechanism in. I wasn't going to do it. I figured I could get a lot out of it just by turning the head like this. But my goodness, I'm really glad that I did that. It adds just a ton of really happy with how it's coming out. Okay, that's almost ready. Let me let that sit for 2 more seconds. Let me just check on the Facebook stream because it looks like it's not going. And if it's not, there's not much I can do about it. Oh, looks like it's going. It just ended on my side. I can't see it. Any more comments on it? Yeah, the comments stopped. Oh no, the comments are still going. Okay, good. Looks like a hairless mogwai. Yep, thank you. It does look like a hairless mogwai. I think I tagged that in the first Instagram post that I did of the mechanism, because this mechanism right now, if I just started dressing it like a mogwai, you'd never know the difference. The guts are virtually the same, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so there we got one little slug there. Let me do this one. Anyone watching any good shows? I'm out of new ones. The ones I'm following now are weekly, so it just takes too long to get to it. There we go. That looks good. So let's see. Oh, this is that gonna bury it too much? Hard to say. Let's see. Me to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna glue them down. Oh, or should I do it? No, I'm gonna glue it. Someone recommended the River series. What is that? Is that any good? Never heard of it. Is that Netflix? Alrighty, let's stick this on. Oops, hold on a second. Let me see here. Just want to make sure I level this all out up here. All right, that's down. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Now my next major step is just to sand and smooth out all this L200 on the head. It's still roughed out from carving it with a knife. So that's what I'm gonna do. And part of the reason why I have to do this is because the fleece is going to go directly over this foam, so it'll catch a lot of those, big edges. So I want to smooth it out the best I can. Let me get a fresh piece of sandpaper here, though. Something a little fresher. think I might end the stream here, though, because watching me sand is remarkably boring. However, I will take some questions now on Instagram and Facebook, if there are any. Hey Google, turn off shop.
Okay, turning off 2 things.
Oh, look at that. Even though I didn't say it right, it kind of worked. Alrighty, let's see what we have here for questions. If we have any questions, you may not. Okay. Browse a good addition. Thank you. Do we have any Facebook ones? Here, let me scroll down. Nothing yet. Okay, good. No, nothing, guys? Do you have to perform this puppet with the base on a surface? Or can you put your hand up in the air? I will be able to put my hand up in the air. Right now, though, if you look at it, if I lift it up by the mechanism, the whole thing slides up a little bit. So what I need to do is I ordered a little collar, a pipe collar, to put on that, so that won't happen. It just hasn't come in yet. So it will be able to just be held and manipulated. However, I do see myself mostly putting it on a surface to manipulate it. Yeah, good question. Nothing else? No, nothing's going to be translucent on this guy. It's going to be kind of, I'm going to use fleece. So it's going to look very puppety rather than like creaturey and realistic. The question was, for people who didn't see it, was will the ears be translucent? So that was the answer to that. Do you ever worry when you start a project that it will look... I'm assuming that you mean that it won't look as I wish. Happens all the time. And that's why when I used to build years ago, I used to not post any process photos until the project was completely done. I take process pictures along the whole way, finish the puppet, then release the process photos because I was sure it was going to work, and then I used to publish the final pictures of the puppets. But I stopped doing that anyway, just because, why did I stop doing that? I guess I just stopped caring if I made a mistake and allow people to see the mistakes with me in case they're following along, because I think they actually get more value out of watching me get myself out of a hole. How are you putting the wrinkles above the nose? I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to do as many wrinkles as this character typically has because I'm doing kind of like a cartoony version. So it's just going to be mostly the primary shapes and a couple secondary shapes. There will not be any heavy details. Can I do a tutorial on making a puppet tail like Arlo and Max? I will at some point, but I don't think I would just do a tail video. I'd probably do a video on how to build an entire character that happens to have a tail. And I'm actually thinking about doing this. I've been thinking, a lot of people, even though I did a live stream video on YouTube like a year ago on how to make a muzzle for a puppet, because people ask that question all the time. So I think what I'm going to do eventually, not too soon, so don't get your hopes up, but what I'm going to do is a dog character that's about the size of Arlo. And so that'll knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. So you'll get the a muzzle, how to make a muzzle for a puppet like that, in a edited YouTube video. And I'll also do a tail on that too. So then it's all in one. You get a little bit more bang for your buck, even though you're not paying anything. I do accept donations though on my website, but you don't have to. But it does help. 'Cause I'm trying to actually I am trying to save up right now to get a another webcam, because right now I have my main webcam here, which is a really, really nice one. And then I have my, actually, let me show you that. That's the Brio. And then up here on the ceiling, I have my, I think that's a C22. And then over here, I've got that really old one. And that old one is, the picture quality is just horrendous. So I want to get this really, really fancy webcam for my straight on cam that's actually remote controlled, so I can like zoom in on things for you really easily. And then I'll move the Brio to my ceiling camera, and I'll move my ceiling camera to that one, and then I think I'll just retire that camera because it's really no good. But yeah. Let me see. People really want to see how to make mech puppets, like those little characters. That is actually one of my next projects that I want to do. Is if you remember my banana mechanical puppets that I made, I'm gonna do a tutorial on how to make one of those bananas. That's hopefully my next public project. However, I'm really hoping to film another project that's going to be released in a new way. Hopefully, I wanted to film it this week, but this is taking longer. Baby Yoda's taking a little longer than expected. So, I might just film it anyway and edit it later. There's just so much that I want to do in so little time. Someone just said, free patterns for the end of the world. I'm not sure what that means, but I do have many free patterns you can get on my website, and I'm adding new ones all the time, so check it out. Can I build a puppet with a frown mechanism? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Well, that's a good question. Do the engineering aspects of building a mechanism puppet like this Baby Yoda interest me more than the actual finish piece? I think so. But one thing, I've said this before in interviews and stuff, that the thing I love so much about puppet building is I love how many different skills it uses. So, like, if I just sat all day and just made mechanisms, after a while I get bored with it. If I sat down and just did all the foam work all the time, I'd get bored with it. Sat down and just did all the sewing all the time, I'd get bored with it. Again, that's what I love about puppetry, is that in one project I get to do, by the time I'm bored of working on the mechanisms, then it's time to get onto the foam. By the time I'm bored working with foam, then it's time to get onto the fabric. So it really is this perfect little ecosystem of keeping me sane, although I really need a haircut. Look at that. But I am at a point where I'm starting to get sick of the foam for this project. So luckily, it is virtually done. Another question here. Have I ever tried ventriloquism? Actually, I have. Before I did puppetry, I dabbled for a very short time, quite unsuccessfully in many ways. But anyway, guys, I think I'm wrapping up. I'm winding down. But if there's any more quick questions, I can take them. Was there one on Facebook here? Okay. Okay. Oh, we do have some good Facebook questions here. Are there copyright laws on making Phenomena puppets? There's copyright laws on making anything that's not originally to yours. As far as I know, there's no real problem with making something copyrighted for yourself, as long as you don't do shows with it or sell it. So, like, this Baby Yoda is not going to be for sale. and I'm not gonna do like live puppet shows with it or anything. It's just something I wanted to make for fun. Think of it more as like cosplay, because it's kind of a similar thing. People make these costumes and dress up as these characters that they like. So that's kind of how I how I like to think of it. Any plans to build a full body costume puppet? There are plans. Again, not soon. Maybe I'll make that a goal for next summer, not this coming summer, but the next summer. But all right, guys, I think we're good. Now I think I'm gonna actually end it. So let me end this stream here, and